So, Sam, I'm going to ask you some questions about the Group B's BFG rehearsal video. So, first of all, how do you think it started?
It started well with the actual dialogue, as well as trying to explain the story about the BFG. It also had so many problems as well. No music, no movement. It didn't grip the audience. It was like they are trying to say, this is the narrator just talking about this and this and this and this. It didn't grab you. It didn't like make you think, wow, I'm seeing a Roald Dahl novel. The rap, okay, good idea, but the rap was a bit not the language that they were using wasn't suitable for kids. It was more for teenagers or adults. It was very bland, not enough movement. They weren't doing much. It's like two people would be moving, other people just sat there with blank, vigorous expression on their faces, or doing weird, funny faces. That's okay. But my overall thoughts at the start was it was good, just cut down the narration and actually have some music, get some life going there. It was a bit boring.
Okay, so then we met
boring.
the BFG and we moved on to the dream sequence. Tell me what you made of the dream sequence.
First thing about the BFG, I think the BFG and Sophie were very good. They actually had voices and character and character development. The dream sequence, that's not a dream sequence. That was a pop-political nightmare. That's not a dream. A dream for kids who are 8-year-olds are probably like, I don't know, fishing, swimming, having a nice like moment. Not the X Factor, going to, or a car crash. That was dark. That was dark stuff. That's something for like a 18-year-old or adult movie or an adult performance or a childhood performance with children. The swimming, okay, the swimming one would have been good if they actually had the Jaws theme, but either way, it wouldn't have been for kids. The one with the school, the bullying in it, that was one thing that they did correctly. They got the idea that bullying is bad in this piece, in the story. The entire theme of this thing is acceptance, as well as standing up to your bully or your enemy. But the way they did it was a bit pants. The dream sequence did not work at all. If I was rewriting it, scrap it. Or make it more child-friendly. These are children you're trying to entertain and encourage, not make them wet themselves or burst into tears. So, yeah.
Okay, then we had a fight scene between BFG and the other giants. What did you make of that?
Okay, it started off great. I like the physical theatre movements with the BFG and the other giants. I like how they use their bodies and the move around. Another thing that really I didn't like, again, lack of music, a lack of atmosphere. A dance-off. A dance-off with what music? It's not a dance-off without music. It's just you just doing this. It's not good. And the other giants making a racket in the background. No. Then they killed the BFG with their no spatial awareness whatsoever. None at all. Basically what happened is they tried to do like a mosh pit thing and they picked him up and threw him but I know it was accidental, but they went whoosh and he went, the poor actor, who was actually a very nice person because he was actually a friend of one of my friends who did Into the Woods. That's how I know him. He was launched back into the wall of the theatre and smacked his head. And I was just like, way for an ending, but damn, I'm like, the fight scene, brilliant idea, just terrible execution. It was too much going on. People getting too into it to descend into chaos, lack of music, and the lack of actual tension. It was dead. It died when they threw the BFG into the wall. It's like, we don't even know the ending of the story because the BFG was injured. I'm making a review of something that doesn't have an ending because I can't see the ending because they injured one of their own cast members. So I'm a bit, what the fuck? Bewildered.
Okay, so can we have a little, just thinking about, because it ended a bit early, can we have a few of your thoughts on how they developed the characters of the Giant, the BFG and Sophie?
Okay, the BFG and Sophie are the only two that actually have any character. The BFG's voice and physical motions and theatres was very good, and I actually liked it. He made the BFG kind of like bit dumb. Sophie was good as well because she was very the narrator of the story without being a narrator. The other characters, they had bones. They had great structure for great character development, but they had no meat. There was nothing to them. They had no substance. It was like, you can see they are playing a giant, but nothing else. And they were too busy playing so many other different characters as well. It's like going back to the dream sequence, nightmare sequence more like. It was like, there was too much going on. It's like, okay, I understand what they were trying to do with the dream sequence. I do. It didn't work. Because they didn't develop any of those characters. It was just like, I'll just be Simon Cowell. Let's be the people who do the X Factor. Let's be school kids. Okay, the dream sequence when the girl was being bullied, that was accurate. That's what would happen in a childhood scenario when a person or a girl or boy wets themselves. They go, you peed your pants, That was good. The shark thing was just, okay, what am I in? The car crash, what's going on? I'm confused here. It wasn't a dream sequence, it was a nightmare. Accurate. The BFG. Brilliant. Sophie, brilliant. Giants. Everyone else had great bones. They had some character. But there was no substance. There was no subtext. There was no meat to it. And I don't even remember their names. That's how memorable their characters were.
Okay, so one last question then, Sam. You talked about a lack of music, and you talked about whether some of the content was tailored
to kids.
What's your overall views if you were giving advice on what they could do with that performance?
Okay. One, make sure that they have more time dedicated to developing all their characters so they are actually having something more substance to it. Two, have music. Too much narration will bore your audience to death. Have some kind of atmosphere, some music. For instance, the scenes that definitely do need it is the beginning and the fight scene. I can't say for the ending. We didn't get to the ending. They killed the BFG before the ending was there. More time developing characters and improve the dream sequence. Make it more childhood friendly. Oh, keep the bullying scene in the school. That was perfect, but the rest of it, just improve it. Make it more relatable for children that age. Yeah, children like the X Factor and all, but at the same time, they're kids. They want, I want to own a pony farm. Make it really funny or intriguing or interesting. And have the BFG and Sophie relate to those dreams. Because the only thing that Sophie and the BFG actually had relation to was the actual bullying. They didn't have any reaction to anything else. It was just like, well, this is going on. Oh, better say something, I guess. This is what I'm doing in the scene, I guess. It was very just, vague stuff through this entire thing. And it was a little bit, I'm sorry I have to say this about a performance. The acting was good. It was just the entire piece itself was very, very bland and without substance. It was like, got great core and bones and structure, just no meat. It was like me, let me just put it into me. It's like me eating like a sandwich with no filling. I got the bread, I got the butter, but I don't have the filling. There was no filling in it. It was just a bit bland. Final thoughts. It was okay. It wasn't. It was okay. Could be a lot better. It definitely needs a lot more rehearsal time and a lot more work and more effort and commitment. A little bit more development to the characters and a little bit more rethinking about the structure for kids. this is for kids. This will be a brilliant horror story, like brilliant horror bit of theatre or movie work going in there. But this is for kids. Kids want to be something what makes them feel alive, not bored or terrified or weeing their pants. They want to relate to this performance. And that's where I think they kind of didn't really get it. They didn't think, oh, we're performing to kids. They'd be like, nah, let's just do our own thing. You're given this task for a reason. Yes, you don't want to, like, humiliate or, like, ridicule your audience, but at the same time, you want them to have a relation to it. And they do need to think it again. So yeah, that's my thoughts of this BFG rehearsal.